Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. Today, I wanted to talk about an episode of Next Level Soul podcast. That podcast is a lot of NDEs, near-death experiences. It was made by a filmmaker, Alex Ferrari. He was a filmmaker, but he wasn't actually ever winning an Oscar. He was a working professional filmmaker, but he said he wasn't getting the jobs, or he wasn't getting the breaks that he felt like he really was ready for, I guess you could say. He was a film teacher, and he would teach his students, and his students would kind of go further than him. It wasn't that he was not doing it or not making it. He just wasn't getting the level of success that he wanted. And I guess he had a lot of spiritual teachers and a lot of spiritual conversations and was kind of embarrassed to make a show out of that. But he just felt the calling for it, and he did it. And now it's a big, huge success on YouTube. He's pushing out the content like crazy, and it's all pretty high quality content. I haven't watched a dud. Some guests aren't as exciting as others, but you do the best you can. He's really doing a great job. Well, one of his videos had the actress that was the mom in Cujo. She was the mom in E.T. If you saw her face, you immediately know who she is. You know, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, I guess. I don't know if 30 and below people really would know her. I mean, she looks great at whatever age she is now. Her name is Dee Wallace, and she's an actress that is also, I don't know the difference between mediums and channelers, whatever it is. She's getting information from another dimension. Could that be ghosts, demons, gods? I have no idea. But I kind of don't worry about the how, because I don't have any skin in the game for whatever the truth is. I would like to know the truth, but if we're never going to know, I'm kind of fine just feeling whatever feels authentic and doesn't feel creepy to me. I enjoy listening to that, and I do believe in the magical realm of our own brains, possibly just making stuff happen, because we only actually use a certain tiny percentage of our brain. Or if it is some sort of abstract force that is swirling around us that we can use if we want access to it. Whatever it is that she's using it. She's obviously very successful. Because Alex is a filmmaker, he's asking her film questions along with the woo-woo stuff. I hate the word woo-woo because it sounds so patronizing, I guess, but I can't find a better word that will kind of encompass it all. That just kind of explains, like, we're talking about things that science hasn't quite come up to match and make it understanding, human science at the moment. They haven't defined it, they can't explain it, and so then everyone just shuns it off as being crazy. Anyway, I really like to hear what successful people have to say about their mindset and how they made things happen. And it's a really great interview. I will link it in the description of the show. You should definitely go watch it. I don't think it's boring. I think it's beginning to end a really fun listen. One of the main takeaways that I got is that she said every day she wakes up and she says, what can I create today? She doesn't worry about money. She doesn't worry about bills. And I believe she might not have been doing this since the 70s, but I think looking back, she knows that she never struggled, which I have the similar experience. I took a lot of chances. I had the broke LA lifestyle, eating ramen for every single meal for weeks on end. I've experienced the legend of the rent is due many, many times, where you're just the last second, somehow the rent gets paid, but the rent always gets paid. You always actually have food in some way. And I guess I'm just a risk taker, because I will spend my last dollar to make a dream happen. And There's always money. Money always comes back around. Everything's always fine. It always works out. And I'm always happy that I've taken risks. So she just kind of says, she wakes up and says, what can I create today? And this is something that I told my husband. He will never watch the show, but I did tell him about this because one of the hard things when you're your own boss, when you're working on your own projects, when you're making your own way without clients, without a paycheck, it is such a luxury to be able to wake up every day and say, what am I going to create today? However, there isn't really a timeline. There's no one pushing you except yourself. So sometimes you've got to remind yourself, hey, this is a luxury and I need to put more stuff out. I need to release more, whatever it is that you're making, and move a little faster, because sometimes you can really go at a snail's pace thinking things need to be perfect. And honestly, the more you create, the more you release, the more you put out into the world to see if people are interested in it. Perfection is great if you can do everything perfect, but to me, I'm definitely one of those that thinks perfectionism is procrastination on some level, and being done is better than perfect. But that's just me. That might not be the right way to do things. Don't listen to me. So back to the Dee Wallace thing, she talks about trusting that everything's going to be okay, allowing. Don't be so controlling. Don't be expecting that you are going to, that your idea is the best idea, that you have everything figured out and you know how best things should unfold. Let some allowing happen. And she says, love yourself and love money, which I love when spiritual people talk about money, because I don't think money's bad. I think money is just energy. And the more value we bring, the more money that comes to us. Money is not everything, but we need a new word for money, because to me, money, it's not about greed. It's not about wanting things that you shouldn't have because they're ridiculous, whatever. Money is something to love. Money is just the reward. It is not the end all be all, of course. However, I do love money. Money is my boyfriend. Another thing Dee talks about is how she sees herself and how she sees the world and how she thinks the world sees her. If she's thinking, I'm a famous actress, I'm a successful actress, but she doesn't think the world sees her that way, that's a problem. I think that when we think about the world and being afraid to look stupid and being afraid to look cringy, I think the way that I escape the pitfall, because sometimes something I am doing is cheesy, but it's fun cheesy, and I just like to do it. Sometimes I'm not sure exactly why I'm called to do something, but I just want to work it out and do it and make it and just see if it feels right. And if it doesn't, you don't have to ever do that again. I was always really worried about looking cool. Like I had to look cool or else I would die. I've kind of let that go, I guess, with age. But I've also realized that if we are living in a simulation and the day comes that we all are gone, the day that you might not be on the earth anymore, in that second, if you get on the other side and you find out no one cares at all about you and you could have been doing anything in the whole world and you limited your own self because you were afraid not to look cool, you're going to be really pissed. And maybe we get reincarnated, maybe not. But you don't have another chance to live this particular life, so just go for it. Do all the things. Whatever your imagination can come up with, do it. Even if you feel like it's not the coolest thing in the world, just go for it. There's someone I follow named Shallon Lester. She's kind of built this like personal brand that's really weird about celebrity gossip and traveling, just kind of girl bossing her way through all her dreams that she wants to make happen. And she's pretty funny. Her advice is pretty good. I think she's definitely worth a follow. But she had a post the other day where she was talking about this particular concept is like of what you think the world thinks about you. She was talking about haters in a way, but I think she's really talking about not holding yourself back and not caring about what haters say because it doesn't really matter. She was saying no one is coming for you. No one above you is coming for you. If you have a hater, It's because they're looking up to you in a different way. They don't understand what you're doing. They're not coming from a helpful place. And if you have a hater, that means you're possibly doing something right and getting some traction. You're getting attention in some way. And no one that's above you, no one that is moving through life with authenticity, no one that is working hard and moving through it with determination is going to look at someone below them and think, ugh, that person's trash. Ugh, that person doesn't know what they're doing. The people that are actually achieving it, actually doing it, aren't looking down on the little people thinking, oh, how sad. I can't believe they're even trying. That's not happening. It's the people that are afraid. The people that are hating, that are judging, are the people that are afraid to do something. They're not really, it's more of a jealousy hate. So that's all I really wanted to share today, which is check out the episode on Next Level Soul podcast about Dee Wallace, the mom from Cujo and E.T. and like a million other movies. And keep going for it. And thanks for hanging out.